Hoggie's beer reviews. Hoggie's beer reviews.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining me again for another installment of Hoggie's Beer Reviews. Now, we're in the kitchen today because not only are we reviewing a beer, but we're also doing some cooking. Nothing too serious, nothing too complicated, but before we get into it, I gotta give a big shout out to my man Brett, also known as Skips on YouTube. He's the reason that we're in the kitchen today. Because yesterday he left a comment on a video I did almost a year ago where I did some beer brats. It was Colt 45 high gravity bratwurst, right? And Skips left a comment saying that him and his friend had never had beer brats before, and they watched the video and they kind of followed my recipe, and it turned out really good and they really enjoyed it, you know? So I mean, that was great, man, because that's one of the reasons I love doing these videos, man. I love getting that kind of feedback where people are trying new things and having fun and enjoying themselves, you know, maybe learning something new. So that's cool as shit, man. So Skips, man, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad I could help. And the thing is, I had to go back and watch the video because it had been so long, you know, I kind of forgot exactly how it all went down. So I watched it again, and then I realized, fuck, man, it's been a while since I've done any cooking videos. You know, I've done like some sandwich, you know, lunch stuff, snack stuff, you know, I've done some grilling, but I haven't really done anything in the kitchen again. So I figured, you know what, this is perfect, because actually I did this last night. You know, we're doing nachos with ground beef, real simple shit, right? But I did this last night, you know, I kind of tried something new and it really worked out. So I said, you know what, fuck it, I want to share that with the people out there on YouTube, you know, so I'll just do this today. And since this is kind of a Mexican style, kind of Mexican-y idea as far as food, I figured, let's do a Mexican beer. Because I've had people out there, on more than one occasion, request I review some Mexican beers. I gave y'all Modelo Especial the other day, you know, not too long ago. And today I'm going to bring you guys Tecate. That's right. Before I get to the beer, just to say, I had somebody else, and forgive me, man, I don't remember your name, but I had someone recently leave me a comment saying, you know, hey Hoggie, are you Hispanic? Because I noticed that you have a thing for Mexican food. And to be clear, liking Mexican food and being Hispanic have really nothing to do with each other. Yes, my wife and I love Mexican food, from authentic Mexican to Tex-Mex to, you know, Southern Cali Mex. You know, we love Mexican food, but we're not Mexican. For the record, we're Cuban. But the reason that you see me doing a lot of stuff like this is because me and her try to eat simple and eat light, because we both love Mexican food, but we both work, you know, and we both cook, but after a long day, who really wants a complicated meal? And the beauty of some stuff like this, you know, especially like tacos and burritos and anything with like ground beef, I mean, it's so quick and simple and easy to make. I mean, how complicated is ground beef? Season it, throw it on the stovetop, you're good to go in 15-20 minutes. Throw it in a burrito, wrap it up, you're done. There's dinner. So, and it's also low carb and it's relatively healthy. So that's one of the reasons you see me doing a lot of stuff like this. I've done nachos before where I had the double boiler going and I melted my own cheese and all that. But I did this and it worked out well. So I'm going to share it with you guys in just a minute. But first, we're going to get to the beer. And I'm going to try not to run long on this one. Been wanting to review this brew for quite some time. This is Tecate. In case you guys aren't familiar with it, there it is. I know the lighting isn't great. But this is Tecate, Cerveza Tecate, hecho en Mexico, made in Mexico. Tecate has become a larger player in the world of imported beers, of Mexican beers over the last, I'd say, 5-6 years. They've really had a strong marketing push, and they've become more and more popular as time has passed. I picked up the two 24-ounce cans, and the quart here, the 32 ounces, is empty. I've had this for a few months. I kept the bottle because I was going to do a little intro. I was kind of fucking around. I was going to do a little intro to my Tecate review, and I had never got around to doing it, but I ended up keeping the bottle. So for shits and giggles, I brought it out. But I got the 24-ounce cans of Cerveza Tecate. And before we crack it open, punching up Beer Advocate, because there's some interesting history to this. First of all, and I want to see if I pronounce this right because this is not Spanish, this is like, you know, Aztec or whatever, Indian, native, indigenous, whatever language. But Tecate is brewed by Cervecería Cuauhtémoc Moctezuma. I think I got that right, Cuauhtémoc, yeah, whatever. That's the name of the brewery. It turns out that not only do they brew Tecate, they also brew Dos Equis, Sol, Bohemia, Indio, and Carta Blanca. All of them are brewed by Cervecería Cuauhtémoc Montezuma, which in 2010 was bought by Heineken. So the parent company of this brewery is Heineken. If it's not Heineken, it's InBev. It's one of those bastards, you know, the conglomerates. But anyways, again, Tecate's been around for a long time. I don't know why I put my phone away. Back to Beer Advocate real quick. Out of 461 reviews, it receives a C- overall. This is categorized as an American adjunct lager, and that's 4.5% alcohol by volume. For those who don't know, an adjunct lager, an American adjunct lager, that style is like the Buds and the Millers and the Coors. Unfortunately, it's a style that developed here, which is your typical lager, but they throw in adjuncts. Adjuncts are stuff like cereal grains, corn, or rice. Unnecessary extra ingredients added to, you know, cut costs and water it down, basically. So this has either like corn or rice or something in it, and that shouldn't be in there. You know, that's why they're so light and watery and flavorless, and they have that veggie kind of taste to them. So I mean, I'm not expecting much, but again, these aren't beers that you drink, you know, to really savor. These are beers you drink when you're thirsty, you know, when you're watching a game, if you're into soccer, I guess, you know, that kind of thing. Anyways, we break out the big ass mug, because we are working with a 24-ounce can here. One for before I eat, one for after. And let's get right to it. Again, you know, this isn't going to be any kind of special beer. This is still, style-wise, this is still along the lines of your Budweisers and your Coronas and your Millers and all that stuff. You know, there's not going to be anything spectacular in here. And there's a little black thing in there. Don't know if that came out of the beer or my glass was dirty, but hold on. So, getting right to it. Cerveza Tecate, hecha en Mexico. Taking a look at it. It's a light color, man. It's not pale straw. It's not as light as a lot of other beers. It has a decent kind of a light golden, yellowish kind of color to it. You know, not bad, not bad. And the head is pop fizzy. And it's receding away relatively quick, but I mean, it could be a whole lot worse. It's not complete Coca-Cola head. A lot of active carbonation in there. Give you guys a shot at that there. I don't know if you can make out the carbonation. That way? Yeah? Alright. So, I think there's still some more in here I can put in. Let me stir the ground beef real quick. Alright. Doesn't smell as bad as I thought it might. I mean, there's some adjunct lager that really smell like a nasty cooked vegetable kind of thing. But I mean, a hint of hops in there, some light kind of a processed malt smell, but nothing really strong and nothing really offensive. Smells like a really plain lager. So let's just drink. This is one refreshing fucking beer. And I say that because, especially on Spanish programming, Spanish television, they advertise this a lot during the soccer games and during like the sports shows. And it really works in that light, you know, hot, sweaty, just finished, you know, whether it's sports or cutting the grass or something, just finished something outdoors. This is really refreshing because it's crisp. The carbonation is good. It's nice and crisp. It bites you right away. And it has that, carbonation could be refreshing. You know what I mean? And there's kind of like a lemongrassiness to it. I'm guessing that's the hops. Bit of a lemongrassy kind of quality. Again, makes you pucker a little, makes it refreshing. But other than that, I mean, there is a little bit of like a corn, but it's mild. There's like it's really inoffensive. I'll leave it at that. It's not super flavorful, but again, it has that lemony quality, good bite from the carbonation, nice thin body. This is a good lawnmower beer. It really is. And of course, I got it in the can, you know, so you're always going to get a bit of a flavor change when you're talking about a can. But for what it is, for an adjunct lager, I'll tell you what, for an adjunct lager, I'll call this a glass half full. I mean, you know, nice and crisp and cold to wash down some food or to chug after cutting the grass or playing football or whatever you're into, it works. So there you go, guys. Tecate. You see how much time I have here. Oh well, I ran over. Shit. Oh well. Here's what I'm gonna do.